Hi everyone, we're back with Mario Vinasco from Uber. Just had a speech about AI and what are the applications, and I was just wondering, my first question was, where do you begin with? So, Mr. and Mrs. Marketer, right? They have no clue what to start with. So.
Well, the first thing, as I mentioned in the talk, is that machine learning is not a black box that is this mythical thing that can perform magic, right? It's a very concrete set of simple operations that are repeated over and over again. So marketers don't necessarily need to understand the inner workings of that, but understanding how the output is produced, what the machine does, the algorithm does, is important to understand the very basics. What do you learn? What do you start? You start by iterating. You start with simple things. You start with something that you have the domain expertise. For instance, customer churn is an easy one. You have the data. You know what customers have churned in the past. You have some data about them. Start trying with some models, some simple logistics, regression, simple decision trees, things like that. It just takes practice. It just takes some iterations to do that. Again, the software is open source. There are plenty of tools that can do those things now. And hardware, you can rent a cloud computer. That's it.
You mentioned Michelangelo by Uber, right? So what are the other options, like perhaps open source or any libraries or anything like that?
There are many. Michelangelo is just one of them. It's the Uber platform. Obviously, we use it. Obviously, I promote it because it's Uber. But Facebook has a very good one too. I think it's called FB Learner. Google has TensorFlow. Amazon and Microsoft also has those tools. I just mentioned the American companies that I'm familiar with. But again, there are many open source. Python has a number of libraries that are also free to use.
It's all about, like, usually we talk about success and how the models work out and how the segmentation, gives you not precise but pretty direct numbers, right? So I was wondering, what are the failures really, where some model has brought you to a segment?
Sure, there are many failures. Obviously, I talk about the successes, but it's important to talk about the failures. We have trained many models that have not produced anything. I remember at Facebook, my prior job, and now, we try to predict engagement with certain features of the app. We're using some data. The model could not do anything. It's very common. It's very common that you would do that. Unsubscription rate, for instance, is very hard to predict because unsubscription rate is typically very, very small, very low. I mean, even if it's high, it represents a lot of emails, you have only 0.1% of people that unsubscribe, right? It's hard to model those things. So yes, there's a lot of trial and error, a lot of those things, and then don't get discouraged. You have to keep doing it.
You mentioned it's progressed significantly, right? From image detection and giving the results and up to segments and calculations and so on. What do you think, like in the next year, 2020, right? Where is it going to go? Is it going to go mainstream or still going to be too?
Well, it's to go mainstream. We need to demystify it a lot more, right? We need to do this kind of presentations where we tell people, hey, it's not a black box, it's not a mystery. Personally, I think what I think it will see is it will be very pervasive, but it will be like the electricity. It's there. People use it. People feel comfortable with it. Most people don't know how it's produced. That's probably how it's going to go. But there are impressive advancements in those things, like reinforcement learning. Those networks are now learning to do things that were previously impossible.
And absolutely amazing presentation. I really loved it personally.
Thank you very much.
What's one of the takeaways, like you would love to see actually people,
I think the main takeaway that I stressed several times during the talk is machine learning is really classification tool. It's a classification and segmentation tool. Look at it that way, because when you say machine learning, artificial intelligence, and prediction, it sounds very esoteric. It sounds really complex, sounds really crazy out
movie
there.
Style, right?
A movie, sci-fi type of movies. No, machine learning is really a classification thing. When we call it prediction is because when you classify things that you don't know yet what is going to happen, then you interpret that as a prediction, right? If you are a driver, I don't know what's going to happen in a month. Are you still driving with Uber or not? Who knows? Your personal situation is unique. But if I run a model on 1,000 or several thousands of you, and that model say that all those people have a high probability, I'm very sure that many of those will churn. And I can design a treatment for them. It's a segmentation tool. That's what it is. I'm segmenting you into segmenting you into a class that I think is going to do something in the future. That's why we call it prediction. But again, it's just a classification tool. That's the main takeaway.
That's absolutely amazing. That's brilliant insight. Last but not least, but how do you find eCOM360? Like, how's it been? Like,
I find it very well organized. It's a fun conference. Good activities. You guys have been amazing with the reception, the details. Since I landed in the airport, the logistics, I think is good. The quality of the people. I haven't interacted yet with too many of the attendees, but I can tell that the quality is professional level, very good. People engaging with the conversations, which is very good.
Happy to hear that. Thank you so much for
Thank you very
being
much
here.
for the invitation. I hope to be back at some point.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.